Hey there, creepy peeps, and welcome to another new movie review. Today we're going to be talking about POOKA. Really quick though, before I get into anything else, I want to say thank you to my creepy patron peeps for your support of my channel. Thank you guys so much. If you want to find out the perks to being a creepy patron peep, you can follow that link in the description. Is this technically a movie? I don't know if you'd classify this as a movie. It's like an hour and 20 something minutes. So I feel like that's feature length. I actually don't know what the minimum requirement for a feature length movie is, which is bad. Sorry. I should know that. I just happened to watch it with a friend the other day, and I was like, well, why not review it? Because it's got a lot worth discussing. So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. Directed by Nacho Vigalondo, POOKA follows a struggling actor who takes on a seasonal holiday job as the mascot for the year's hottest new toy, POOKA. However, after putting on the costume, he develops two personalities, one for himself and one for POOKA. Alright, so POOKA is the December installment for the Blumhouse Hulu series Into the Dark. It's basically, the premise is they release an installment every month, and it is themed around some sort of holiday or celebration or observance in that month. So obviously the December one is Christmas themed, and the latest one that just came out the other day is New Year's themed. New Year, New You, it's called. But this is actually the first episode of Into the Dark I have seen so far, so yeah. I loved the many ways you can interpret this movie. Like I said, I watched it with a friend, and afterwards we were talking for quite a while, like, about how we interpreted the movie, what we thought about it. Like, it definitely is one of those movies that you're gonna want some time afterward to discuss. And I normally don't do this before I've posted a video or before I've written my notes for the video, but after I watched the movie, like, I looked up a whole bunch of videos on different people's interpretations of the ending, and it was really fascinating to see, like, the different kind of things that people picked out of it, because there's so much going on in this movie. Y'all know how I love my, like, mythology and my lore and legends and things, and I loved that POOKA is actually based on a mythological being, which is called a POOKA. I've seen it, when I looked it up, it's spelled like a million different ways, but you know, the idea is the same. So basically, a POOKA is a bringer of either good or bad fortune, which corresponds to the episode of Into the Dark, where POOKA, the toy, is marketed as either naughty or nice. You don't know what you're gonna get, but it's gonna be one or the other. I also read that the POOKA, I don't know if it's the POOKA, you would refer to it as the POOKA, I don't know, is known for enticing people to ride on its back and then taking the rider for this, like, terrifying and wild journey before dropping it back off in the location where it was taken, which to me, that little description of the mythological being kind of serves as as one interpretation for the movie. Basically, the movie, like, you come to find out, opens at the end. So when the movie opens, we see somebody looking at a POOKA toy that's on the ground, and there's like fire behind it. And then we go into the movie. At the end, you know, he gets into a car accident, and then we see that same kind of view again, and so we realize, like, that's where the movie opened. In a sense, we're like dropped back off at the end, like we're taken on this wild, crazy, trippy ride through this movie, and then we're dropped off at the end again. We have like a very Christmas Carol thing going on where Wilson is watching this happen to himself, and there's a shot when we get to the end and the car crash happens where we see Wilson in a destroyed POOKA costume looking at himself, and then he has the POOKA costume standing behind him, almost as if, you know, it looks like he's dropping him off here. Like I mentioned about A Christmas Carol, I did see a lot of interpretations that viewed the movie in terms of A Christmas Carol, where like POOKA is like serving as like the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future, and is showing Wilson's past, his present, and then what will happen in the future if he continues on the road that he's on. The cinematography in the movie was also great. They make a lot of good use of colored lights. It's a lot of red and blue, which I noticed corresponded with POOKA, like his, you know, like his mouth features or whatever are red, but his eyes glow red and blue depending on whether he's being naughty or nice. the one main problem I had with the movie was it started off great. I was like jiving really well with like the story. I was into it. It was creepy. It was giving me Furby flashbacks, so I was terrified in that sense. But then it just gets to a point where it just seemed like a collection of really trippy and crazy scenes all strung together. And like I found myself getting bored a little bit and just wishing for the end to like wrap it all up. Like, I don't know if anybody else felt that way. I know at least one person in our little like patron Skype chat kind of mentioned the same thing that I just kind of iterated. So I'm glad at least one other person felt the same way. It just felt like they had no meaning and it was just a collection of scenes, and that was probably the purpose, like it to be trippy and crazy, but it just got like to the point where I was kind of just like over it. Like I was exasperated with it and just waiting for the movie to end. Overall, I think this was like yet another really great creative kind of Christmas horror story, very much like All the Creatures Were Stirring, how it was like super creative and unique, even though, you know, it was very Christmas Carol-esque, but their interpretation of that story was awesome. It's an awesome thing to watch with friends and then discuss afterwards. However, it's not something that I'm gonna watch again. I definitely wouldn't add it to my regular Christmas horror rotation. It's just a one and done. It was good, but I'm not gonna watch it again. So that being said, I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5. On IMDb, it has a 5.7 out of 10. It doesn't have a score on Rotten Tomatoes. I was surprised it like actually had individual entries at all, since it's technically part of a series, but and on Letterboxd, it has a 2.9 out of 5. So obviously it's only available on Hulu. So if you have Hulu, or you can mooch off of somebody else's Hulu, which is what I did, you can watch it for yourself. Yeah, if you've already seen it though, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about it. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here and become a Creepy Peep today. I post videos Monday through Friday, and you can ring that notification bell to be notified every time I post a video, even though it doesn't always work. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in 2019. Until then, stay strange. Bye!